Okay, guys, quick video here, just trying to explain exactly how to go. You just bought a Ghost and you want to set it all the way up, including the team racing features or the pit switching features. I've basically basing this off of all the texts and questions that I've personally had about setting up Ghost, especially the binding procedures, and just want to kind of go over some of that stuff. So first thing you do, you just got Ghost, plug it into your radio, update everything. You want to update your OpenTX. There's binaries for that on Immersion's website. Just go to the Ghost system and then scroll to the bottom. There's what you need. Update your Ghost. So one thing I didn't know is plug it in to your radio, turn your radio on, then you can plug in your USB, use the updating tool that is on Immersion's site, and update that to the latest version as well. Update your Betaflights and your Falcos and all that kind of stuff. For Betaflight, if you want to run Ghost all the way through, use 4.3, which you can use on the development builds. Go to your DFU mode and flash and check, I think, development modes, and you can use that. For Falco, flash to the latest version, and you have Ghost support there. Once you get your OpenTX updated, your Falcos and your Betaflights and your Ghost and everything updated, you are good to go. So the first step is create a model. You can either create a model or copy an old model. I'll just copy an old model and change my receivers. So the main thing you want to do is make sure that your internal RF is off. So that is important. And make sure your external RF is set to Ghost. I think it defaults to channel 1 through 12. Perfectly fine. We're going to do that. And we are good. So internal RF off, external RF set to Ghost. Then, because we've updated our OpenTX, you can go back here and you can use this little screen on the back, or you could just simply hold down menu, go to your Ghost menu, and you got the same screen that's on the back right here. Pretty simple. You don't have to, finagle that around. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bind. So we're going to go to bind plus setup. You can bind in any protocol you want to. I'm using Ghost. If you're using like an older version of Betaflight, you're going to need to use SR-XL2. It's completely up to you. But if you're using like 4.3 or using the latest Falco, you can use Ghost. And so I wanted Ghost all the way through. The one thing I will mention is that if you are using like a later protocol, whatever you bind, this is your binding procedure or protocol to your receiver. Whatever you do, whatever you set here and you bind to, that's what you're going to select in Betaflight. So that little drop down where you used to select S-Bus or Spectrum or whatever, that is whatever you set here and whatever you bind to your receivers with, that is what you're going to set. That is what you're going to select in Betaflight. With Falco, it automatically figures it out. So whatever I bound to, Falco will just say, oh, you bound with Ghost. You got a Ghost receiver. Cool, let's go. But like I said, I'm using Ghost. So come down over here to Ghost Protocol. That's what I'm using. This is going to be a new feature. You may not see this in your build currently, but it's coming, I guess, in the next week or so. RxID, this is for the team racing or model selection setup that we got coming. Pretty cool with that. So what you do here is if you want all your models to be on the same, just everything the same, no pit switches or anything like that, you just bind everything to RX1. You're fine. No issues there. But if you want pit switching and be able to run, sit 9 quads out on the line and go fly those, you're gonna bind each one of them to an individual RX. So I have this one set for RX1. So if I click arm for this guy, oh, no, that's changing the model. So if I just arm this guy, it's good. That's number 1. But if I flip this switch up, wait a minute, I did that wrong. It's because I'm in the menu. Can't get out of that. Wait a minute, 1 second. Oh, no, it's because I turned all that stuff off for this video. My bad. Okay, so I'll demonstrate this later. So yeah, if you want to have different models and you want to be able to run pit switches and all that kind of stuff with the Ghost system mixing with the Tramp, you set each individual one to a different model, and this switch will switch your models, but I currently have that off. I don't know about this, but the RX, LQ, and RSSI, I was told by Two Dog RC to turn that off for Falco, so I'm not 100% sure why, but I just followed his advice. Mode, cool. I set mine to pure race. You can set yours to whatever. Pure race seems to be the fastest. Video TX, by default it's set to basic, which I don't think has these extra options at the bottom. I set mine to team race, which gives me some options. At the bottom now I have on off switch. In my radio, this switch right here is channel 7. It's the 7th option down. I have this set as my video transmit power. So with this switch, channel 7, right up here, turns on my video VTX, which is a Tramp. So it just Tramp to limb communicates with it and says, hey, turn on. For team racing, I definitely want RX loss. I want my VTX to turn off. So if I fail safe, I want my VTX off. For power off, or for power up, for team racing, I definitely want that to start or boot in the off position, so that the only time it comes on is if I'm on that model and I have this selected to power up. So pretty cool. TX powered, haven't touched that. Fail safe, haven't touched that. Antennas, haven't touched that. Team race. So when you open up team racing menu here, this is what you'll see by default. So the first option is model change. So this just lets you, if you want to have 3 models, you would set this to your channel, which for me, channel 9 for me is this switch up here, and I want this to be my model select, and on a 3-position switch. So if I rotate through here, see all the way down is RX1. So that's selecting my number 1 quad, which this should work now. Now, number 2. Yep, number 2 works. And you can see here, RX2 is selected. Number 3, I don't have one plugged in right now. So that's how you set that up. And then you also have group select. So I have group select set up on channel 8, and I have that on a 3-position switch. So if I were to watch this RXID down here, if I were to switch my group select up 1, it moves that to RX4, 5, and 6. Up 1 more, 7, 8, 9. So that's how you get 9. And on something like the Radio Master stuff, you can do a 6-position switch, which is all your buttons. And so you can actually have more models bound than you can with OpenTX with just 2 3-position switches. So that's how it is set up. You can do 2-position switches as well. But that is pretty much it. That's how you set up team racing in a couple minutes here. Thanks, guys.